Well, Joe, it's Black Wednesday. Ooh, that's a big beer.
It's the barley wine.
It is indeed. So, happy Black Wednesday, the traditional day of releasing barrel-aged beers. And this is release number 2 of our 10th anniversary barrel-aged collection of awesome beers. This one's a barrel-aged barley wine aged in new Riff.
Yep.
Barrels. We've never done a barley wine. So if you have been with us for a long time, many, many years ago, we did a beer that was an attempted barley wine that didn't quite work out right. We called it Mega Pale. If you remember Mega Pale, it was a giant pale ale beer, much too hoppy for a barley wine. It was delicious in its own right, but it wasn't really a barley wine. So as Joe and I brainstormed our approach for this year's barrel-aged season, kind of a reboot, building new barrels, new recipes, new beers, we came up with a delicious barley wine. So it's an English style. It's basically all English pale ale malt, a little bit of crystal, and just huge gravity. So, Joe, what would you say about the barley wine?
I was excited. I know when we were talking about 10th anniversary beers, this is one that I had brought up to you, and you were willing to brew it.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah, it came out. We released it, I believe, end of February, early March. Got a really great reception here in the tap room, but we put some in some of those new Riff bourbon barrels, as you mentioned. The new Riff barrels were pretty wet when we received them. So the great thing is you will get a lot of that bourbon character out of this beer. The barley wine, the base beer, was delicious. Toffee, caramel, big malt flavor, sweetness, and it mellowed out as we kept it in the cooler. Even some of our regulars thought it was 2 different beers from when we released it to about 6 months later when they drank it again. So super excited how this base beer turned out. Even more excited how it came out of the barrels. Still get that same sweetness with that toffee and caramel, but then you're bringing in some of that bourbon character as well. So you definitely taste the bourbon in here. But then a little bit of the oakiness, a little bit of a vanilla. Yeah, so we're super excited to offer this to everybody today, and love to hear your response, and can't wait to party with you guys on Black Wednesday.
It's a big ass beer, so exercise some caution while drinking these. It's delicious. I think it turned out fantastic for our first actual barley wine. I think we nailed it. It's really delicious. Those super wet new Riff barrels rounded it out beautifully, as Joe mentioned.
Yeah. Like I said, we brewed a great beer, but when it comes out of the barrels, you never know what you might get, and we were super thrilled with how this turned out. We may have a variant on tap as well that will play into all those great flavors that you get from the barley wine. You will have to come by and check that out, though.
It's called a tease.
Black Wednesday hours. We'll be here from noon until 10. I will be behind the bar from about noon until about 4, so come by, drink some of this, tell me what you think, all positive reviews, I hope. And then if you do need to pick up any to-go beer or even grab a beer on Thanksgiving, we will be open from 11 to 5 on Turkey Day as well.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.